Welcome to 843 TV. I'm your host, Will Wareham with WHHI TV.
And I'm Morgan Canty.
We are here standing in front of the new River House on Spring Island. It's a beautiful setting, and we're going to be joined today by Tom Noyes, who's the general manager out here at Spring Island.
And Bruce Kinke, a member and president of the board of directors here.
And finally, John Strother, who is the broker in charge for Spring Island Realty. It's a great show. You don't want to miss it, so stick around for more 843 TV.
Where communities come to speak.
.843 TV, where Bluffton comes to speak.
Where Spring Island comes to speak.
Where Hilton Head Island comes to speak.
Where Port Royal comes to speak.
.843 TV,
where communities come to speak.
Welcome to 843 TV. We are now joined by Tom Noyes, who is the general manager here at Spring Island. Tom, thank you for being here today.
Oh, absolutely. Welcome. Good morning.
Thank you. We are here in a gorgeous setting at the River House. Beautiful day. So how did you personally come to hear about Spring Island, and what made you decide to come here?
Well, actually, back in March of 2011, a very good friend of mine called and said, hey, you need to take a look at this job posting at Spring Island. And I said, no, really, I'm fine. I'm happy here in Southwest Florida and doing our thing, raising our family. And he said, no, really, Spring Island's different. You need to take a look at this. So I did. And when I saw the job ad and I went on the Spring Island website, I really was bound and determined to throw my hat in and challenge for the position. So I did, and so here we are.
Very nice.
How's Spring, why do you think it was different, and why has it proven to be different from other communities you've been in?
You know, so many communities and clubs have a pre-established or preordained set of amenities: golf, tennis, dining, fitness, very traditional, but Spring Island is almost unlimited. Fishing, shooting, boating, equestrian, fabulous rec center, 2 different clubhouses, the nature trails, nature center, sales office. It's almost unlimited. It's just amazing. And as complex as I knew that it was going in, it's turned out to be so many more layers even than that. It's just a fascinating place.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Tom, can you describe some of the challenges of running a club that just celebrated its 25th anniversary?
I think, the interesting part about being 25 years old is that we are not fully built out. We have to try to balance our culture and our history and our traditions, which we hold so dear to all of us and that we honor, but yet realize and look forward that, what do we need to be, what do we need to have going forward? Do we need larger facilities? In the old days of Spring Island, meals were served using the boarding house reach, and that doesn't work. We now serve 250 to 300 people sometimes at some of our larger events. So, things have to change.
And do you do mainly that here at this River House? Is that where you do a lot of the entertaining? Or?
With our new renovations to the River House, the deck that we're sitting on, we have just a huge expanse here. We can throw a party from the backyard to the front yard and everything included, and it's really fun to be able to consider so many more possibilities for functions. It's great.
So Tom and Bruce, now that the club is celebrating its 25th year, what do you foresee for the next 25 years?
Well, we traditionally have operated kind of on a 5, 6, 7 year planning cycle, and we're trying to stretch our thinking out to be more like 30 and 40 year in some regards planning. We are doing master planning and trying to include everything at Spring Island instead of just the things that are easy to see. It's easy to see if golf carts are worn out or fitness equipment or things like that, but with our age, we now have to look at some of the unseen things which have to be taken a little more scientifically, maybe a little more analytically. The depths of ponds, pond siltation, drainage ditches. Not always fun stuff, but we still need to do it, and we need to look at it to keep our infrastructure right and functioning. And as I said a minute ago, we just need to see what we need to have and to be going forward. And it takes it takes a good set of goals and objectives. It takes a good, well thought and agreed upon planning process, and those are things that we're working on now at the board level and management staff level.
Real quick.
Yep, and you're doing a good job. And we have a really strong committee that's doing a long-term strategic plan over the next 10 years. And as Tom said, they're diving into water treatment and the bridge that we come to get over to Spring Island. So we want to know what's going to happen in the next 10 years. We want to know it for not only the management here, but we want to know it for the members. We want to keep the members involved. Members want to know what's going on.
Sure.
And we do a really good job in letting them know that.
Are there any other specific changes that you guys see on the horizon?
Well, one of the interesting things about Spring Island that I'm often quoted saying that we're really only limited by our own creativity. We're very fortunate to have space, fantastic members and volunteers. We have good resources, so we're not landlocked. If we decide that we need a different facility of some sort or want to even try something. Last year we decided we were going to try raising chickens, so we're producing our own eggs now. Next year, I shouldn't even say what it might be next year, but ideas come up and we look at them and we don't have to say, oh, no, we don't have a space for a half-acre herb garden, or we don't have space for a chicken coop. We look at ideas and we consider their relevance to our goals and objectives and our values. If they work and if it's something that we want to do, we take a shot at it.
Yeah. Tom's a very, very busy guy.
The
board is very involved, and I think I'm wearing him out after a year of, why don't we try this? Why don't we do this? But it's terrific. And what Tom and his team do, which I really love, is they always go to, let's talk about yes. Let's talk about, we want to do something, well, let's say yes first, and if we really can't do it, well, let's work toward that. But a real positive attitude that we have here, and he does a terrific job, and he's got a great staff.
Thank you. Yes, we do. We have a super team here.
Yep.
Thank you.
Exciting.
Well, Tom, thank you very much for joining us.
It's our pleasure.
And please stick around for another segment of 843 TV.
Welcome back to 843 TV. Right now joining us is Bruce Kinke, a member and president of the board of directors at Spring Island. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for being here.
So Bruce, where were you living in the Low Country when you found Spring Island?
We had a home on Hilton Head in Sea Pines, and we had determined that I could spend more time down here because I was going into semi-retirement. So we put our house on the market there, and it sold, and we started looking at all the communities down here, all along 278 and probably within a 50-mile radius. And we hadn't been able to find anything. So one day we were in Beaufort and went to the outdoor store in Beaufort, and I walked in, and there was all this, Orvis stuff and all this, the outdoor stuff. And I was going to the owner, I said, who buys this stuff? I'm from Hilton Head. Everybody buys cutoffs, and So he said, there's a couple of developments here, but the one you really want to go see is Spring Island. So we came to Spring Island, and I've heard this story 50 times here. We drove across the bridge, and I was like, oh my God, this place is so different. So, the long and the short of that was it, and we've been happy ever since.
Well, it was a pretty big decision to come from Sea Pines to here. What have you seen? I mean, what was the deciding thing that made you decide this is where I really want to be, and what have you been doing here to keep yourself busy?
It's another interesting story. When we had looked at all these other places, we would go, and the salespeople would introduce us to owners, and we would go, and every single place we went to, somebody would say to me, what do you do? What do you do? Kind of like, how much money do you have? Mm-hmm. And we came here, and we bought a home, moved here, and I think it was a year and a half later when somebody asked me what I did. So that just sold me. I mean, this is such a low-key you know, this is a low-key place in the low country. So yeah, it was a great decision. We're very pleased.
When people say, "What do you do now?" they mean, "What do you like to do?" Right?
Oh, I know.
Not what did you do?
Yeah, there are too many. It's funny. You're absolutely right, Tom. There are just so many things to do. I mean, you never, you know, what you have to do is you have to turn down things to go to, because there's so many opportunities to do things. I mean, I'm doing things that I thought I would never do. You know, we have a master naturalist class here. You know, I'm from Minnesota, and you know, we don't know about the stuff out in salt water and things like that. And you can learn so much here and be educated. You know, every Thursday night we have what they call the Trust Talk. And we might have somebody here who talks about how cobia get here, and then the next week it might be, you know, the history of South Carolina. So you really you're challenged here, and you're out. And what I really like about it is you're outdoors. And again, from being from Minnesota, in the winter here, it's nice not to have to put on a heavy coat and boots when you want to go outside.
Absolutely.
So anyway.
So now you, from moving here from Sea Pines, now you're president of the board of directors here at Spring Island.
Somebody had to do it.
Can you share with us some of the challenges and opportunities that a 25-year-old club like this face?
You know, I think the biggest challenge is trying to stay the same. You know, try to keep the traditions here. Try to listen to the people who have been here a long time and incorporate that in everything we do. Now, of course, as Tom mentioned in an earlier segment, you know, we have to continue to upgrade our facilities, and we have to do more things to, you know, we have younger owners now, and the owners that are coming in now they're not golf. You know, they're you know, golf may be important to them, and we have a fabulous golf course, but they're into nature, you know, and they're into meeting friends and establishing a community and things like that. So we have to be very aware of you know, what's going to happen. We just started a terrific program, which is a new member program, and we want to wrap our arms around the new members and new owners here, so that they're given the opportunity of and learn about all the things that we do here, which is so much, and that's really been incredibly well received. We're actually having a new member weekend where we can include them in so many different things and involve them, because that's really important here. This is a big, you know, community is a big thing here.
Sure, absolutely. And so, as far as the club goes, financially, how are you? Where are you standing, and how are you holding true to its to your vision of being a nature-based community?
Well, you know, as I started my speech last a couple of months ago about this, and I say, hey, when I started here, and to today, we have more money in the bank and we have fewer bills, and everybody thought that was great. But seriously, we have great reserves. Tom manages the operation of the club and Property Owners Associated extremely well. We invest in all of our infrastructure, and we're in terrific shape. We have a great treasurer who's on our board. We have a great financial committee, and we have a chief financial officer. And as all of us as a team really do, I feel, an outstanding job in taking care of doing our fiscal responsibility here and what we're supposed to do.
And quickly, what's impressed you the most about Spring Island over the past 6 years?
What's impressed me the most are frankly, well, let me answer it this way. This is my favorite time of year here. We have what we call Spring Island Camp and the 4th of July. We have a 4th of July parade here that we have more people in the parade than we have people watching the parade. I mean, kids get so involved. We have Camp Spring Island here that all the kids come in, and we have like 50 kids that are here visiting. So it's terrific, and we do all kinds of stuff.
There you go.
All right, thanks for joining us, Bruce.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here.
And we'll be right back for another segment of 843 TV.
Welcome back to 843 TV. We are now joined by John Strother, who is the broker in charge out here at Spring Island Realty. Thank you very much for joining us today, John.
Well, thanks for coming.
We've been hearing a little bit about the sales activity on the islands for these past few months. I understand it's been a pretty good 2015 so far.
It really has. We've been very fortunate. We Gateway Realty took over the sales function here at Spring Island about a year ago, and we spent about 4 to 5 months just kind of figuring out what we needed to do.
Right.
And so we did that. We revamped our marketing and did some training and just did a lot of different things, but it's all really paid off. From the end of December to now, we've had 26 sales here.
Wow.
Which is a great year and a half a year.
Right, yeah.
And so we're going on vacation.
That's right.
Yeah. So so it's been really great. We've had home site sales. We've had home sales. We have people, owners and members who have renewed confidence, or they've renewed their plans to build here. The man sailing a sailboat behind us, he took his home site off the market and he's building a home here now.
Okay.
And he even brought one of his friends here after that. So there are a lot of success stories in there, and it's just been a really nice time, a good time.
So is it safe to say that potential residents or people interested in looking at Spring Island has a choice of pre-built homes and lots that they can build their own house on out here? That's pretty much pick and choose out here?
It is, because we have the home sites. We have beautiful home sites. They go from 1/3 of an acre to 25 acres. And then we have some incredible homes also. So people can build their dream home. So a lot of people will buy if they're not quite ready, and then in a couple years they'll build. And other people have walked in and said, "Wow, this is great!"
Right. Yeah.
Because every home on Spring Island is distinctive.
Sure.
It's not I like that model. We can put that over here kind of place.
Yeah, I really like that about this out here. It's some of these developments you go and it's almost like the homes look very similar to each other, and that is not the case out here in Spring Island.
Yeah, it's an amazing place. Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you tell me about the home site that's on 3 Old Tabby Road?
Oh yeah, that's a really great one, Morgan. It's a small one. It's 1/3 of an acre. It's in a really hot neighborhood, and by hot I mean not because it's summer, but we've had a lot of activity in there. People buying homes, lots, starting homes under construction immediately after closing, and so it's overlooking a beautiful lagoon with lily pads in there, and the birds are fishing. It looks across a dedicated open space to the 18th fairway and the marshes of Broad River. So you have a view there that's maybe 10 miles long. It's just incredible. And you can put a smaller house there, so it's located right next to the golf club. It's kind of a neighborhood, a community, so it's real social, and it's a perfect vacation home or a perfect retirement place or any kind of place you want to use, because you can park your car and really not have to get in it for anything. You go to the golf club for breakfast or for lunch, and that's offered at $125. It's a fantastic home site. It's one of my favorites. Yeah.
So we just talked about a beautiful home site where a potential buyer, potential resident has the opportunity to build on this beautiful property. Can you tell us a little bit about a home for sale? We've got one on 228 Spring Island Drive. This is a home feature?
Oh yes, this is a great home. It was designed by Jim Strickland of Historical Concepts. They actually designed this river house that we're at right now, and over 60 homes here in Spring Island. There's some really fantastic homes, and this has got to be right up at the top with them. It's a classic old southern home. You drive down this long drive. I think it's on 2 or 3 acres. There's a little picket fence here, a little guest house, and I think the people built this little cottage. It's a little 2-bedroom cottage. It can't be more than 700 square feet with a little kitchen in it. It's just cues a button, nice porch. And the people lived in that first. Then they built the main house, which has deep porches front and back. It's a room wide, so you can open all the windows and get the beautiful breezes from Broad River, because this is overlooking Otter Pond, which is a saltwater pond for fishing. I mean, there you'll see eagles fishing, you'll see egrets, wood storks coming in, otters playing. I mean, it's just an amazing, just teeming with wildlife. Horses will go riding by on the dikes, and so it's a beautiful setting. And the thing I like about it, is the porches. It has these deep, deep porches with these hanging beds, and it's just, you could live your whole life out on the porch, which is something I really enjoy, you know. And,
Yeah.
Master bedroom up, master bedroom down, beautiful kitchen, the woodwork in there, mahogany walls. I mean, it's just murals of Spring Island. It's the attention to detail in this home is unbelievable. And then there's this third structure, which is basically Barry's man cave, and that's a bar and a pool table, and it's just wood everywhere. I think it's cypress in there. And upstairs is his office. There's a bedroom up there. There's 2 or 3 bathrooms in there. So there are 3 structures. I think maybe 4 or 5 bedrooms and as many or more baths. It's just amazing, and it's just like coming down to another time and just living in this nature wonderland. And
It really is a wonderland, isn't
yeah,
it?
it's amazing. Yeah.
Well, John, those are 2 great examples of just a couple of the real estate options that potential residents and members have out here at Spring Island. So thank you very much for sharing those with us.
Well, thanks for coming.
And thank you for having us. And thank you for watching 843 TV.
Where communities come to speak.